Welcome to day 2 of Reducing Stress for Calm and Confidence. Now, before we begin, ensure you have a few minutes to take for yourself. And please do not listen to this when you need to maintain concentration, such as when driving. You'll also get the most from this audio when you give it your full attention, so that you might be sitting or lying down, or you might also find it helpful to listen with headphones. To begin, I'm just going to say a few words about the experience of stress and why it's helpful to maintain a clear and calm approach to pressure situations when they inevitably arise. Because stress warps how we view our day-to-day lives. Stress creates a mental fog that impairs our decision-making and hampers emotional balance. As a result, the pressures we experience can lead to stressed thinking. Now, this in turn leads to stress behaviour, whether it's being short with someone or drinking too much alcohol. And the outcomes of our stress behaviour then feed back into additional emotional distress. Yet while the experience of stress is very real, it's important to remember that our response to life stresses, rather than the events themselves, determines our experience of it. And this is why we want to focus on bringing down the emotional arousal, so you don't feel overwhelmed by life's stressful events. So to begin, make sure your chest is open, your shoulders feel calm and comfortable, and the breath can flow easily so it's not constricted. And relax the body and keep your face soft. And then when you're ready, you can allow your eyes to close, or you might decide to find a point of focus as we take this time together for a short while. Now, the experience of stress is a topic that everyone can relate to. It's certainly something we experience, each of us, from time to time, and many of us, it's even frequent. Even positive developments, starting a new job, moving home, or getting married, can introduce a degree of uncertainty. And countless people have stress-related illnesses such as chronic fatigue or body pain and autoimmune difficulties. And stress can also result in addictions, anxiety, insomnia and depression, which happens to be far more widespread than it was just a few generations ago. In many respects, our nervous systems aren't built for the stresses of the 21st century. Or between work, family and finances, we have constant deadlines and demands, and some of these may make us feel cornered or unsafe. And for many people, chronic stress is so common it's become a way of life, almost a normalised experience. So when we're under stress, hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol are released, which rouse the body for emergency action. And we can feel stress in our bodies. Our heart pounds faster, our muscles tighten, our blood pressure rises, and our senses feel sharper. Ultimately, this fight or flight stress response is your body's way of preparing you for action and to defend yourself in emergency situations. And here, stress can actually save our lives by making us alert when we need to slam our foot on the brakes or respond to some high-risk situation. So you can see how stress forms a vital part of our ability to survive, but it's the opposite of helpful when our fight or flight response is stuck in on position. And that's the case for many of us, even if we don't realise it. The good news is that we literally have the power to rewire our own brains. And even though our nervous systems have been exposed to stress, using the power of calming techniques can significantly improve your ability to reduce and manage the daily pressures of life. Now, one last point before we get started. Much of our stress is caused by problems that feel out of our control or perhaps just inconvenience us. Often we carry this idea that if we just fixed each problem, everything would be okay. The thing is, when we fix one problem, it doesn't take long before another appears. Our problems change as we do. If we're poor, we have poor people's problems. Yet if we're rich, we deal with rich people's problems. If you're single, you deal with single people's problems. And if you're married, you deal with married people's problems. And problems never disappear, and we can't change that. But we can change how we perceive those problems and how we choose to respond to them. we can decide to acknowledge our concerns, yet not be controlled by them. Instead, we can be clear on what we need to trust, on what we need to accept, and how we may need to change. And then we pull our attention back to the things we can affect and control and influence, one step at a time, from one day to the next. And this is what we're learning to explore. So we're learning to develop greater awareness of when your mind and body are under stress and what to do about it, and how to identify thinking patterns that contribute to stress. And we'll also cover how to avoid getting swept away by strong emotion. And these are all techniques you can learn to practice when you feel overwhelmed, and you can use these to alter your interpretation of stressful events. So with that said, how about we get started by taking a few slow, deep breaths. And to do this today, I'd like you, when you're ready, to just take a breath in and then take a breath out. And take a breath in and out, and hold it there for 3, 2, 1. And breathe in for 3, 2, 1. And out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And in for 3, 2, 1. And out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Carry on breathing like this. Don't worry if you lose the count. You just want to focus upon your out breath being longer than your in breath. This is how we calm and strengthen the relaxation response. And as you breathe, you can inflate your lungs, feeling your rib cage expand as you breathe in. And notice how your stomach softens as you take slow, deep, relaxing breaths. And settle into the awareness of your body, just scanning the length of your body and observing how it feels. And grade your experience of this moment without any resistance. Just observe everything with kind, gentle attention. And as you hold your focus here and you find even a small or modest sense of stillness, just notice all the subtle details of the experience of